Hi, Carol Winter here. Today we're going to talk about goal setting for success. We, in my family and in my business, we set goals all the time because I found a long time ago that it was pretty much the only way to achieve something that you want to achieve in your life. So I'm going to give you an example. When I was in it was a printing business years ago. We had a retail store that was actually failing miserably, and the powers that be sent me out to that store and said, "Make something happen, or the store's going to close." So I didn't know what I was going to do, but I got out there. I kind of assessed the situation, found out what the heck was going on, and in no time, I knew what we were going to do. And I called the staff together and I said, okay, things are going to change. This is what we're going to start doing. I said, we're going to set some goals. So we set several goals for the days, for the weeks, and for the months. And we posted those goals right up on my wall in the office. And we were always looking at them. We were always thinking about them. And within 6 months, we tripled the sales in that store. And it ended up being more sales than the other two stores that we had. So that was just an example of what can happen. I mean, it was the same staff. It was the same retail store. It was just that everybody was focused towards a certain thing, and it worked, and they did get rewarded for it. And that is just a very important and powerful thing you can do in any aspect of your life. So, in my opinion, goal setting is one of the most important things you can do when you're, at least when you're in business. And you also know that professional athletes and successful business people, they're setting goals. If somebody said, "Oh, I want to go to the Olympics someday," and then that's all they said, but they didn't have any kind of goal set and an action plan in order to reach that goal, they're not going to make the Olympics. It's just not going to happen. And they may not make the Olympics anyway, but they will get a whole lot further than they would had they not done it. So that brings me to my other point. If you set goals and you only get 3/4 of the way there in the time that you wanted to do it, it's not a failure, because you will have gotten further than you would have gotten at all with no goal. So now you're 3/4 of the way. So then you just, again, assess the situation and then restate your goals. And you'll get there. You'll get to that vision that you want. Now, one of the things I had my staff do was we wrote down the word SMART in a vertical manner on a piece of paper. And beside the S, we wrote the word specific. We needed a specific goal. Beside the M, we wrote the word measurable. You need to be able to measure a goal to know if you're going to reach it. Beside the A, you want to put attainable, because it has to be attainable. At least it should be close to attainable anyway. And then the R is for relevant. It needs to be relevant to everything that you do to get there. And then the T is for trackable. So those are all pretty self-explanatory, and it just helps you when you're setting your goals. It helps you to keep them in check. Now, for attainable, I know I just said that it has to be attainable, but if you don't reach it, it's okay. Well, what I mean is, if you can make a certain goal in a certain amount of time, that's wonderful. But again, you're not a failure if you don't get there. You're almost there. So you just redo your goal and you'll get there, like I said. So anyway, it's just really important, if you have a vision in life, to go ahead and write it down and work towards it. Take action. Go for it. Don't just say, "Oh, I'm going to do this someday." I'm going to give you one more example. I could say that I want to save enough money to go to Hawaii someday. And the months would go by, the years would go by, and I wouldn't save enough money to go to Hawaii because things come up and you just don't do it. But if I were to say by 2015, in the month of June, I will have saved enough money to go to Hawaii, and this is how I'm going to do it, then it's pretty likely that I'm going to do it. So I just think that you really need to understand the power that is in goal setting and the action taking that it takes to meet and achieve the visions that you have in life. So I am so happy you're here, and I will see you in the next video.